to apply, versatile coating for everyone. This is something we've all heard before, many times, but we've never heard this from one of the biggest coating manufacturers in the world. And this is their first coating that they've ever made that wasn't meant to be this 7-year, 9-year, 10-year, 20-year ceramic coating. It's actually quite the opposite. They've made something more simple, last a shorter amount of time, but ultimately be something that everybody watching this video right now can apply anywhere, anytime. Let's go ahead and walk through the application process. So we're gonna go ahead and spray my panel prep here. For the application here, what we're gonna do is take a towel and they recommend spraying it into the towel, correct?
Yeah, it's a strong solvent and it's going to soften that paint slightly so that it can kind of go deeper and allow, if you did polish, to remove a lot of those oils that can sometimes trap deeper into the finish.
Yep.
And so spraying it directly on the paint can over soften certain areas. So that's just a good way to make sure you have an even kind of effect of the panel wipe. The goal of this is to remove oils and residues that would otherwise be on the surface from our prep steps that could otherwise inhibit the bond of the coating. And then we're ready to go ahead and apply. I like to draw myself what I call a river, which is essentially going to be a midpoint where I can pull some product from. It's optional. It can be more helpful with some of our other higher solids coatings where you have a little bit less working time and they're a little bit more specific with how they bond. And we still recommend cross-hatching. It's just going to help make positive that you have even coverage across the panel. What that river allows me to do is kind of continue pulling product every time I cross through it so that I have even distribution of the product across all 4 corners of my application. But what we're looking for now is we're looking for our coating to sweat.
Now, one cool thing that you can do is when you're looking at the coating as you're applying it, the whole thing will get very blurry, right? Like you have bad vision or you put on somebody else's glasses, right? But then it'll slowly but surely start getting more and more clarity, like your eyes are adjusting or like you put on the right glasses. That is the point in which you have clarity to wipe it off. So I'm looking down here, I can see my face clearly. We're good to go.
This would otherwise be an impossible to remove high spot with any of our other coatings, but let me just see if I can kind of get that to wipe off. Using maybe a pound of pressure, gone. If you have a high spot like that, come back with one of your leveling towels, hit it, good to go.
I do love the amount of working time this is. This is a lot less stressful. I can confidently say that this alleviates a lot of that nervousness for new people. Like I can imagine you buying this for the first time, taking it home, using it, and it's a stress-free process. If you can apply a wax, you can apply this. It's that simple.
The big thing with Gtechniq coatings is we've always recommended a 12-hour cure, and we still recommend that with this. Let's say that we get a little bit of inclement weather a little bit sooner than that 12-hour period. It's not the end of the world. So that's a really cool thing. It's not going to be as prone to water spotting during that cure as some of our other coating products.
I'm gonna knock out this door and I'm gonna knock out that fender in literally one run.
It's gonna be quick.
Starting the timer now, you're gonna prep and coat. So knocked out the door, the fender here. Really your only downtime is just gonna be the actual application and then the spreading in with the towels. So if you can have everything with you here, so you can knock out a full section at a time, it would go a lot faster. You'll be able to find all of what you need here at theradcompany.com. So you just wrapped up the windshield as well as a wheel.
Absolutely.
You only did one wheel.
Well, it's not my car.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm kidding. We're actually gonna go through and coat the rest of this vehicle. We are going to do that. All right, and welcome back everybody. It's been 4 weeks. Can you believe it? Time flies when you're having fun. And behind me here is the Land Cruiser that honestly should be dirtier than what it is. But that's probably a testament to the effects of the GT1 coating. Now, today's an exciting day because we're gonna be giving this car its first maintenance wash. Pretty cool, right? Well, on top of that, we also have some people joining us today, including the man in the box, the one and only Mr. Dane Hennon.
Oh, hey, look at that. Here I am in the box, hanging out. You know, Anthony, you and I are going to run the show today, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention we did have a special guest with us as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring him in here. Yes, that's right. We got Carson Berman, the guy you saw in the video there with Anthony, Mr. Gtech himself here. Carson, what's going on?
Dude, I'm doing great. How's it going, guys?
Very good. He's got that same Carson energy that we love. Cool, calm, and collect. And that's with a K, mind you, right? We got Carson with a K here in the chat. Love this guy, all the way from Georgia here in his very awesome office there in the Gtechniq North American headquarters. So, Carson, it was just not too long ago that me and you were actually filming this whole video, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, you did most of the work. I kind of just got to talk. So,
Yeah.
which I love doing. So,
I'm glad we remember who actually did the work. You know what I mean? So that's usually how it is around here. So Dane, you and Carson are actually going to be kind of handling a lot of the conversation, keeping that going in the comments here, and kind of chiming in with people who are going to be watching this with questions about the coding. And really, I'm just over here playing wash model, as some might say, washing this car with beautiful shots and trying to showcase the coating itself. It's not all about me. It could be, but it's actually about the coating. So we're going to highlight that. So Carson, can you let us know how Brand Week has been going for you, right, as Gtechniq? And obviously you had a ton of fun while you guys were here and obviously in Boise. But what's going on right now? How's your day going?
day's going good, man. I mean, it's rainy here, but it's all sunshine and rainbows here in the works facility. So we've actually got a class going on tomorrow, a couple of attendees coming in. So prepping for that, which is
Cool.
that's awesome. I love doing classes. The classes are fun. But no, Brand Week's been awesome for us, and it's been pretty cool to see all the traction and people enjoying all the kits and everything. So we're here for it, man. We're pumped to be a part of it.
Cool. Well, I want you in this next kind of hour or so to be chiming in and talking about some of the classes that you guys do offer there at the headquarters, and talk about how to get a certification through Gtechniq, what it's like to be accredited, talk about kind of the network itself, because while there's a lot of people who like using the coatings as enthusiasts, right, there's a lot of actual detailers out there running a business that may be looking for a coating supplier, and it could be you, right? It could be that guy right there in the screen with that beautiful haircut, right? And look at that smile. Look at him.
We hope so. We'd hope so.
He's great. We love this guy. We always told him that if he ever gets kicked out of that building, he's got a spot here waiting for him. And let's just say the seat's already warm.
Ooh.
Oh, Carson,
Well,
I didn't mean that.
I do love
We
me some
have our own
Idaho
Carson, and
potatoes, so.
I think he got a little offended when I said that. So his job is also safe. No need to worry. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm actually going to get started with the wash and start going through. We're going to be starting off with a rinse here, just to kind of showcase the water behavior as it's sitting dirty right now, to show you how well it's going to rinse off. Again, this fine layer of dust on here is really just a matter of how well that coating is performing, right? Because the entire idea of a coating, right, is to obviously create a surface that is going to repel dirt and ideally not allow it to stick, right? Whether it's wet dirt, dry dirt, whatever kind of dirt it is, it's to create a new surface with better surface tension than that of the paint itself. And as you can see here, the paint is still looking very glossy, although it is kind of covered in a layer of dust here. Now, if the car would have gotten wet or getting rained on or whatever it would have been, what there would have been is probably maybe just a small amount of maybe a few water spots, or I should say water droplets on the surface. But outside of that, though, this is pretty much what you would expect of a freshly coated car, especially from something in the Gtechniq line. We feel like the Gtechniq coatings kind of do have this kind of miraculous stay clean phase for at least several months, which is just amazing. And then at that point, you're really reaping the benefit from the way the coating feels, it looks, and so on. And so the protection continues, right? Even after the dust has settled. Do you like that? Do you guys like that? Was that a good one? Can we clip that, Glenn? We can't. You want me to continue with the live? Gotcha. So, sorry, I got her in my ear, and she is saying that I need to stop saying those types of things. Okay, yep, she does not like it when I say that. Wants me to stay on task. So, all right. Getting to this, we have citrus foam here and a foam cannon. We do have a G-Wash soap over here, which is going to be just our kind of traditional clean. I do have the one and only. Oh, too high. This right here is just the mint on a stick. Awesome. Literally can't wash the car without it. And I'm not washing this without it, because this thing is not only a lifesaver, but it is a backsaver, but don't suck on it. So, with this ready to rock and roll, we're going to go ahead and, we'll obviously start off the roof and all of that. I do have some other products here that we'll be able to highlight, right? We have the quick detailer. I do have a tar and glue remover, don't need that. I do have a water spot remover, probably don't need that. And I do have a bug remover. Don't need any of those things. You want to know why? Because we have a coated car with GT1. I've had to eliminate all of those because all that crap isn't going to stick, which is great. So I do have an iron remover here if I want to knock out the wheels here in a little bit, but I do want to see how well those clean up, considering they were coated with GT1 as well, right? If I don't have to use a wheel cleaner, shoot, I'll take it. We'll figure that part out. So let's go ahead and grab the pressure washer and get to rinsing. All right, so coming back around here, I would like the boys to start a conversation. I would love Carson to be able to highlight Gtechniq's thought process on releasing a one-year coating. If you guys haven't seen the video, I highly recommend watching it, but I do want it to come from Gtechniq themselves on why they went to the opposite end of the spectrum, right? When there's all these 5-year, 7-year, 8-year, 100-year ceramic coatings claimed, right? Why go the opposite direction to a one-year coating? Why does that make sense? And maybe we'll answer some of those questions that we had from that video in this. So Carson, I will let you have it with Dane. I'm just going to get to washing and showing you guys some beautiful rinsing shots.
That sounds good. So Carson, I don't know if you're aware, but here in Idaho, we've been dealing with a boatload of fires. So there's just been a ton of wildfires, smoke in the air. Chances are the dust he's talking about on this Land Cruiser is from that. So that's mostly what we've had in the air this whole time. Now, if only I could hear Carson. Something, his mic is muted even though I have his image up here. So I'm sure we'll get that resolved in a moment. There we go.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sweet. So yeah, I mean, I noticed a little bit when the camera was panning, I did see some kind of soot. So I was going to ask the question because here in Georgia, we're used to seeing clay and dirt and bugs, but soot was a new one, unless it was 4th of July. So that was a funny one for me to see. But it'll be interesting to see. It looks like a lot of it's rinsing off. But yeah, as far as the thought process that we had with GT1. You know, we've been in the coating game for so long, and I think as a coating manufacturer, it's really easy to think kind of perfectionism. How can we make the best possible coating? And usually what that always means is how can we make it longer lasting? How can we make it better gloss, better durability on all kind of sides of things, increase the UV resistance? That's a really cool conversation to have because it challenges us as a manufacturer. But I think there's some disconnect between kind of our striving to push for the best of the best and squeezing out, you know, percentage points of every possible, you know, feature of a coating versus what the customer really wants a lot of the time. And we went back to the drawing board. We looked at the kind of offers that we have right now, and we've got some really solid, you know, longer lasting coatings. What I think there's a gap in the industry is creating a coating that gives you all those introductory benefits of a higher level coating without the difficulty of application. And so that's what we tried to tackle with this. And you'll notice, I mean, that water contact angle is incredible. In fact, GT1 upon install is one of the highest water contact angle and highest repellency coatings that Gtechniq manufactures, which I think that's kind of the cool thing with it. So yes, the coating's durability is a 12-month coating compared to our 2-year, 5-year, 9-year offerings. But the really cool thing with it is you're really not sacrificing anything outside of the durability. And the huge benefit here is you don't need a garage to install it anymore. So I think that's a pretty good selling point for the product. And I remember when I was in there with Anthony coating this, we left a high spot on this fender flare next to that antenna for probably, I think it was like 8 minutes. Ooh. And I came back and I just touched it and it wiped right off. So I think the kind of barriers to entry with a product like this are reduced a lot for people that have really nice high value cars and they just want to do it themselves.
No, that's awesome. And that is going to be a large part of the modern audience because, you know, detailing finds new people. Every single year we get a new crop of people coming, oh, it's detailing season. I need to figure out what to do with this filthy car. Once they get it cleaned up, they go, well, how do I protect it? And, of course, you got your standard waxes, sealants, all that stuff. But coatings can seem a little intimidating until you realize there are user-friendly coatings out there. Whereas Gtech has the experience of like the really, heavy-duty long-term stuff. This is kind of a newer foray for you guys, but at the same time, like you're bringing a ton of experience to the table with how you approach that. But I mean, just based on what I'm seeing here, I know it's only been 4 weeks, it's a month, but at the same time, the behavior of it is impressive. And I will say, regarding wildfire, soot, smoke, ash, the kind of stuff that's in the air, one thing, if you don't experience it, you don't know this, but generally speaking, it turns anything that ends up on the paint highly acidic. So it's just really nasty stuff if you don't get rid of it quicker. It can really cause issues if you just let it sit for a long period of time. So with a coating, you're definitely helping yourself prevent, long-term paint damage.
Yeah. I think Anthony's having a great time here. He's just playing with the water.
He's just making
pretty much
beats.
him. Yeah, no, I'm going to start throwing all sorts of different types of bodily fluids at this thing because nothing can stick to it, right? It's incredible. Very impressive. Here we go.
Yeah, we got some commenters who are loving that.
I have been rinsing everything here.
And for those of us that are kind of nerding out on the facts and whatnot, the starting water contact of this is around 115 degrees. So it's up there with coatings even like our Ultra. So the cool thing is with that is you don't need nearly as much effort and thought to get that kind of result out of a coating like this. Now, yeah, it's not going to last 9 years, and that repellency is not going to be the exact same by month 10, 12, etc. But because it's so dang easy to use, I think the amount of people that are just going to come and just pick this up and be like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and sling on another layer at a year's time, and I'm just not going to worry about it. I think that's the cool thing with this stuff.
Yeah, and I got Wolfsburg here who kind of says something to that effect, saying, as long as I don't have to polish it every time, I don't think I mind needing to redo the coating every year, as long as I get good performance for that year. And I do see this a lot of times.
He's got a good point.
Commenters who kind of run into the fact that, a coating doesn't necessarily perform as perfect on, day 364 as it does on day 2. But at the same time, how you take care of that coating goes a long way. And for the people who kind of have a concern like, well, why would I do a coating if I'm just going to have to clean it anyway? They're missing the point that if it wasn't for the coating, your paint would be the one taking all this abuse. Instead, it's the coating taking the brunt of the elements of the environment that it's in, and your paint is underneath, happy as a clam, surviving to see another year rather than having clear coat failure and God knows what else.
Yeah, right. Well, and he's got a good point here too, because that was one of the biggest things with this was we want to be able to make this coating last 12 months without polishing. And so that's what the 1 year was measured at, was on a vehicle that was really just washed, clayed, panel wiped, and coated. So that's where we're getting that 12-month durability from. And we've tested that in the lab, but also real world conditions. So is that citrus foam, Anthony? I think it is. I think it's citrus foam. The reason why I'm asking is because every single time I go to the rag company, there's G-Wash and a foam cannon.
Yeah. They love doing that. We got Armor Auto Lab saying, I've been using a 1-year coating as an upgrade to a wash clay seal. It's a great entry point for most customers, just like you were saying there.
Yeah, and I think we get some questions too from professionals too, because while this is a consumer coating, I do think there's still a solid drive there for this coating and demand for people that are mobilers, right? Even if you're a professional, sometimes your limitation is not going to be your skill level, it's going to be your environment that you're in. So having a product like this as a mobile guy, I think, is a very helpful thing.
Yeah. And if you're good, Carson, I can go ahead and bring up some of the more complex questions that have come up along the way here, just as Anthony's doing his thing. So we might as well treat the whole thing like a Q&A as we're going along. Let's see. I'll start here with Paul Woodcock saying, He's assuming C2V4 is compatible, potentially stretching its life. So, you know, people love to mix and match, combine things. What's your take when it comes to combining products in the Gtech lineup as far as GT1 is concerned?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. The cool thing with C2 is it's going to work on really anything. It's a water-based product, right? So it's not going to be as long-lasting as your solvent-based counterpart, but it's going to take minutes to do. And I mean, you can even use C2 as a drying aid. So spray some in your favorite drying towel. After you wash or rinse the car, yes, you're going to dilute the product. So you might reduce the durability of the C2 a little bit by doing that. But it's so dang easy to do that you're more likely to incorporate it more frequently in your interval. So that's kind of a non-issue. But to kind of really hit at the question, yeah, C2 is great standalone, but actually we designed it for use with an existing coating system. So a solvent-based coating like Crystal Serum Light or EXO or GT1 in this instance is going to be benefited when you maintain it with a booster like C2. And you'll notice that you're going to extend the life of that underlying coating because you're adding more sacrificial layer of protection to that. So then, you know, instead of the GT1 taking the brunt of the hit, now we have to. And if we continue to kind of maintain it with C2 every several months, you'll notice that the repellency will extend much greater than the typical 12-month window. Now, yeah, there's more variables there, right? So if the car is a daily driven car and whatnot, you know, that will kind of change the amount of time that it's going to extend the life. But nonetheless, it's a beneficial thing to do. And for the, you know, 5 or 10 minutes it takes to get around the car with some ceramic sealant, I think it's the right move.
Yeah. And of course, you put this onto something like Anthony's Evo, which he never drives, sits in the garage. You really don't have to worry about putting it on again for a while. So obviously, 12 months in your case was kind of where you guys found the sweet spot, something you were comfortable saying, yes, it'll do that. But yeah, obviously, there's going to be a little variability depending on the use case.
Yeah.
Then I've got a question here. This product looks so great. Love to try some when it becomes available in Australia. So as far as Australian distribution goes, what's a timeline for that?
We do have Gtechniq Australia. So it's their discrepancy on when that product gets released there. And knowing tariffs and imports, I can't give you an exact date, but it is happening and it is happening soon. So yes, it will be available. I just don't want to, you know how this goes. If I make a promise now, people are going to find my email and then Carson, you got to ship me this product right now.
So yeah, no, I totally understand where you're coming from. Obviously, I think it was just more of a general like, hey, can I get a ballpark? But I know this stuff can really depend. All they really need to know at this point is, yes, it should be on its way. It's in Gtech Australia's best interest to bring it in because it is the kind of product that I think really has broad appeal. I mean, it's gonna go for the broadest audience for sure. And that ease of use.
Well, and I think no better way to do it than in Australia when it's a million degrees outside and you're battling with everything. So, yeah.
I mean, if the environment doesn't try and kill you, the animals will. So, yeah, one way or another, you got to survive out there, and that goes for your car's paint too. So protect it.
Right.
Now, I don't know why this popped up. I feel like this may have been Gabe. Carson loves habanero pizza. I'm assuming
that messed me up.
Oh, okay.
I'm really happy that we got a lot of the filming done on prior days than the habanero pizza. It was a interesting experience. First off, we get there and there was one guy working the whole pizza place.
Oh no.
And of course, Gabe goes, well, Carson's going to do the habanero pizza challenge because it's Brand Week and that's what Brand Week people do. I was like, have you done this with any other Brand Weeks? He goes, no. So I'm like, okay, so this is just because I'm here. You just want to make sure that I have a habanero pizza. So he goes up and he's like, let me get the quad hob, which is some code for pizza that you shouldn't get.
They do like a double, triple quad, and it's basically just more habanero. That's all it means, just more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the best part was the guy comes to the table and he goes, "We ran out of all the habanero by the time we got to 3 habaneros. So I have this other really hot sauce that I'm going to throw onto the pizza." And Gabe just goes, "Yeah, that's great. Just go ahead and do that." So there was also,
Rude.
so it was kind of like it was triple habanero, and then whatever questionable substance was also thrown in, which I could only assume is race fuel because that's what it tasted like. But I had probably half to 3/4 of the pizza, and we did a whole video on it. It was
So
yeah, it was interesting.
people
I
watching
won't
those
be back to
videos,
Idaho. I won't be back to Quad Hob.
I respect that. You know, people watching the videos, they may or may not realize you're in terrible pain in a few of them. All right, so
Oh man.
bear that in mind. Next up, I've got the Vet Pirate. Looks like he's got a cool looking C7Z06 there. After buying a brand new car, how long should you let the paint, quote, gas out before you ceramic coat it? I mean, obviously, when you buy a car, it depends on how long it's been sitting on the lot. The manufacture date could have been several months ago, and it's just now made it to the lot. But assuming that the car shows up and it's been like 2 to 4 weeks since the car was built, manufactured, painted. Now it's on the lot. Somebody picks it up a month after it's been, painted officially. Is that long enough? Does it need more time? What would your vote be?
You're good to go. I mean, as soon as you could drive it off the lot after signing those papers, and you're good to install whatever coating, even one of our higher durability products. So, what we've typically found is most cars are at minimum 30 days before you drive that thing off the lot post production.
Sure.
So, it's not a concern. And the cool part is this even applies to resprays. So if you get, an OEM quality repaint job, and it's base coat, clear coat, we have a lot of people that come in and say, "Hey, I've had rock chips on my bumper. I've got crystal serum light on the car. I just had the bumper repainted on Sunday. It's Friday now. It's been, 5 days, whatnot. Can I go ahead and coat it?" The answer is pretty much yes. Our coatings are really breathable. So because they're composite based, they don't really trap the clear coat. They kind of absorb in and fortify it and form a layer within that clear.
That's good to
So
know.
the benefit behind that is it's not going to mess with off gassing of the paint. On our FAQ section of the website, it says we recommend waiting 7 days just to play on the safe side. But on the more strict side of things, if the paint is good to wet sand and polish, which is pretty much within 48 hours of painting, you're also good to go ahead and install a coating. But be on the safe side, wait a full 7 days.
Okay. No, that's fair.
I love what Anthony's doing.
Oh, yeah. No, he's really getting intimate with the sponge, the pad there. My goodness. Okay.
We're
Moving
losing it, man.
along. He
Sorry.
is losing his mind. Anthony, I have a question for you here.
It's Friday, man. I'm tired.
Anthony, I'm going to
What?
throw this question
It's
for you up on the
Wednesday?
screen.
It's not
Crap, I
Friday.
was way off. That cut should be good. Okay, hit me.
Oh, yeah,
That's
you got a
okay.
little foam on your face there, pal. All right. So, I don't want to ask Carson this question because, of course, naturally he's going to be a little biased. But, Anthony, in your experience, I just want to hear what you have to say regarding Christian GTC's question here.
Okay.
Would you consider this easier than stout to apply? What about performance?
But stout is on a different level, right, in terms of longevity and whatnot.
For a different purpose.
Correct. I mean, stout's meant to be a long-term coating, but I mean, this right here is significantly easier to apply. I mean, it's again, we're comparing a 1-year coating to what could be tested as close to a 7-year coating, but I mean, this is very easy to apply. Very, very easy to apply.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it. Anybody. Like if you can apply if you can apply a wax, if you can apply a sealant, if you can compound your own vehicle, you could easily do this. No question.
Now, I've got a question here for Carson and for Anthony from our good friend Dan here, Alkaline Towpat, saying it's coming up on a year since we coated the RS4, and the hydrophobics are indicating that his ADS quartz coating is clogging a little. Is it safe to use my existing supply of Gtechniq chemical decon products?
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
You got something
Yes.
decon related? Yeah, there's no reason. I mean, basically what's great about the Gtechniq maintenance line is that you can use it on all coatings. I mean, it was designed and tested for Gtechniq coatings, but I mean, that's like, I mean, that'd be like me saying, hey, you can't use the G-Wash on any other coating, otherwise that's ridiculous, right? No, I mean, you got a lot of different good products there in the maintenance line that punch above their weight class that anybody can use with their coating.
All right. Then I've got Wolfsburg saying, Anthony, that might be foam abuse.
Yeah, I think it was. It was just a little bit, but you know what? I got to make this live stream last like an hour and a half, and I can only go crazy for a little bit, they said, before they start trying to sedate me. So I'm trying to do what I can here to keep things interesting for myself and you.
All right. Then I've got, we got Alex popping in, Bucky VW saying, just checking in. We'll catch the live a little later. Love you all. Gtechniq looking extra thick.
Yes, sir.
I agree.
This is what happens when you don't pay for product.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, you mean I can get more anytime I want? Guess I'll abuse it.
Yeah, I know. It is a little bit different with us, but I guarantee you everybody in their cabinet has at least one soap that they can absolutely go to town with and not feel bad about. So, you know, there's opportunity out there. I know you guys are hoarding soaps that you haven't used in 3 years, that you've been saving for a rainy day. Just use it. Just use it.
Yeah, you'll be just fine. Now, I've got, oh man, you know, our good Irish friend here, Air First, popping in to say, good evening to all you wonderful people. Then he does actually tell us about his simple dinner this evening. Lobster and venison steak and new potatoes. Blessings from Castle Calmin. Yeah, that's amazing. All right. Now, on a more product-related note, to make sure Carson's time is not wasted here, I heard wood ash is alkaline. How does that affect cleaning the car afterwards?
Most detergents are going to be able to handle wood ash. I think the biggest problem with things sitting on the paint, yes, pH does play a role. I think the more important thing is the contact time of that kind of dirt or debris, or in this case, ash. So the faster you can get to addressing it with a general soap, the less likely you are to need, specific products to remove damage. If in fact you do have any kind of alkaline damage, my number one recommendation is going to be to try water spot remover, which is an acidic product to help kind of try and neutralize and remove that kind of deposit. But if you catch it soon enough, and chances are he's going to catch it soon enough because he's an in-depth person, right? You're watching a Rag Company live stream. You're up to date with it. You know what to do. I don't think it's going to be a huge concern for you, and I think most of the time a standard even wash detergent like G-Wash, which is pH neutral when diluted, is going to take care of it for you. And if it doesn't, then you can go into specialty things like water spot removers and so on and so forth.
Boy. Well, Anthony looks like he's having a wonderful time working on that.
I am.
Too.
This is slick, man. This is like, I'm almost dropping this freaking mitt, dude.
So slick, you're actually dropping it.
No, like it really is. Like it's honestly kind of concerning. At first I was like, oh, this is pretty slippery. And I was like, oh, crap. Like I'm going to probably drop this dang thing. So, yeah, this feels amazing, man. First wash on a coated car, nothing quite like it. I would say it does resemble a lot of kind of the first wash effects of something like XOV5, kind of what you can expect in terms of slickness and whatnot. But I mean, it just feels great. I mean, and it's on everything too. It's on the trim, it's on the glass, it's on literally every surface of this car we coated with GT1, and like it's showing in the whole process. I mean, it just feels so freaking good. I really am liking this. And so I'm just kind of methodically going through, envisioning like this is my own car, thinking, what's it like washing a car with GT1, and would this coating be for somebody like myself, right? And I think that 1-year coatings in we'll call it a traditional market, right, of end consumers, I think there's a lot of people that could appreciate something like this, because one thing I will tell you is that when it comes to a high stakes coating, right, anything that's 7 years plus, right, it's 5 years plus, right, typically you have a higher cost when it comes to the coating itself, and then usually it comes with a pro application method, usually, or just if you're doing it yourself, more, I guess, a more hands-on application, right? Something where you are slightly stressed with a little bit of anxiety.
Working time is compromised.
Yeah, correct. Like your time's of the essence, the weather, everything. And so the way I see it is that when it comes to a high stakes coating, you have cost and time involved in both, right? And if your lifestyle cannot maintain and or handle a high stakes coating, right, due to stress, anxiety, or just whatever, you may find like this might be the perfect method for you. Because I'm just going to say right now that if I have CSU on a vehicle, which I do, if my CSU gets, let's just say, I don't know, like I get a scratch somewhere on the car from God knows what, a child, a neighbor, or whatever, right? I know that mentally I'm going to be like, all right, well, I got to polish off that area. I'm going to fix the scratch. I'm going to reapply CSU and so on, right? Well, I know that I'm removing a high stakes coating, right? I'm replacing it with another high stakes coating, which again has a little bit of stress involved, right? I feel like if you're going to ever buff your car, if a scratch bothers you, if there's a minor imperfection, anything like that, and you don't want to have to think about spending serious money on a coating and or going through the stressful process of potentially having a long-term high spot or anything, this is the better coating for you. Because you know what? Even if I went and took 3,000 grit sandpaper right now and I just wipe this door down, right? I just basically just scuff the crap out of it. I would have no issue grabbing a buffer, buffing those sanding marks out, literally topping it back over with GT1 and moving on with my life and not even thinking about it. The car is recoated, there's no stress. I was able to fix the scratch, fix the imperfection, and I didn't have to crack open a new bottle of a $200 coating. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me when I explain that?
Yeah, I feel you there.
Carson, what do you think? Do you agree?
I think it's a valid take. I think it's a valid take. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I also think a lot of people that are getting Ultra are it gives them another thing that they're like, okay, well, I need to be really, really focused on this car because I have this kind of invested into it and whatnot. And I think that's a great thing. But I do think that for someone that's trying to make it, on their daily driven vehicle that they don't care as much about when they have a bunch of other cars to care about, I think it's a nice change up. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so a daily driver, the family van, the whatever it is, right? Your car that sometimes you let your in-laws borrow or whatever it might be, right? This is the coating I prefer to coat that car with because chances are it's going to have to get corrected or fixed at some point in its lifetime. And I would rather say, hey, enjoy the drive. Don't worry about it. You're not going to hurt the car. They go and do what it is versus me going, please don't run this through an automatic car wash. It has a $2,000 coating on it, and I have 50 hours of paint correction into it. And if you even breathe on it wrong, it could micro-mar it, and I'll never forgive you. And it will cause a separation in our family. And I will remember this for the next 3 Thanksgivings, in which I will hold this against you in board game night, right? Like I will remember that you jacked up my coated car and you did this, and honestly, I hate you for it. I hate you so much that I'll never, ever, ever, ever forget it. And you took time, money, and everything else from me.
I think you got a little smudge on your
That
lens
got
there.
so personal.
Did that sound like that had happened to me before?
I feel like he's going to
sounded
garnish the
so
wages
in-depth that it
of
did
their
happen.
children's children.
No, it didn't happen to me.
The
That
3
never
Thanksgiving thing really had me sold.
happened. Yeah, but I'm just
I was
saying,
sold on the 3 Thanksgivings.
give him a car coated in GT1, and you're not going to think like that. Give him a car coated in CSU, or give him a car coated in any other pro coating, and you're going to think that way, and it's not healthy. Nobody can live like that, ever.
New marketing
right?
strategy, Carson. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't think that one's been done before. I think
It's a little
long
aggressive.
description. Anthony, we're gonna need the speech to text on this live so we can put that in the website description.
I'm just saying, you don't want to end up going to a therapist's office at 5 p.m. on Wednesdays due to things like this.
Oh, man. All right.
Speaking of which, I got to get out of here
soon,
early.
Anthony. You
At
got to
4, I gotta
finish
get out of
washing
here
this
for
car,
something
dude.
different. Not related
Yeah.
to a therapist. What's up?
I was going to pull up some more questions and comments here for you guys.
Yeah, do whatever you want to
Poor
do. I
Fun
don't know why
Fam
you
has
guys
been,
are stopping when I'm talking. I'm just rambling.
Fun Fam has been leaving several comments here that I think are nice and relevant. So I've got some good stuff. So Fun Fam says best water spot remover with caps lock on. I kind of wanted to use this as an opportunity to point out, because a lot of people ask, like, oh, water spot remover, I get that, but when my car's coated, I feel a little more scared to use something like a water spot remover. What do I do, Carson?
I think the whole thing of being scared of acidic or alkaline products, it's not really warranted, especially with a coating. The coating is going to give you a little bit more buffer than if you just had kind of bare clear. That being said, I think the biggest thing that people need to kind of keep in mind when they're using products that are stronger and not pH neutral is contact time. Contact time is probably the most important thing. A product that isn't damaging when it's on your panel and working for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 60 seconds can be the detriment of the panel and your hands. If you're not wearing gloves, wear gloves. If you work, extended time periods. So the biggest thing is every manufacturer that's working with products that have dedicated water spot removal properties are going to be using acidic removers in that product. That's just the way that chemistry is working. And so the biggest thing is to just look at the directions of the remover that you're using, because that product is safe if used in the time period and in the fashion that those directions are telling you to use it. So follow the directions. It's not going to damage your paint if you do that. And actually, I would say it's going to help prevent additional damage from happening, right? So if we leave water spots on a panel for an extended period of time, that mineralization, the silica, the magnesium, whatever scale is on there causing that water spot is going to continue working its way deeper and deeper into the paint until we do neutralize that. So we need to neutralize it with an acidic product. So don't think of using an acid as, oh, I probably shouldn't do this. It's harming the paint. Think of it as this is a tool that I need to use if I have this problem, kind of like going to the emergency room. We don't do it if we don't want to, but if we need to do it, it's going to be bigger benefit than risk. So I think you should not worry too much about that. And I might be biased, but best water spot remover would probably be W9 from Gtechniq.
You might be biased, but I also happen to agree with you. I think that's a fantastic product. So that is really effective stuff. I was going to say, yeah, I agree with you. At the same time, with like any kind of water spot remover, if you need to feel better about it, a good approach is just targeting only the areas that you need to do it, not doing all of it, like trying to wash your whole car with water spot remover is a bit overkill. It's the same thing. If you scratch your foot, you don't need to amputate your arm. So it's like just focus on the area that actually needs it. All right, next up, I've got Dan Perry.
That's a good point.
With a question that also happens to be quite the compliment here. I have a Toyota Camry 2020. The Gtechniq ceramic went on the first day I owned it. 6 years later, it's still running strong. Any thoughts or needs to boost the ceramic coat or a refresh?
Wow. That's pretty sweet. 6 years is a good indicator of a solid product. So thank you for that. But yeah, I think it also sounds like you're doing a lot right with maintenance, right? Coating life is one thing, but a lot of the kind of performance side of the coating, the water repellency, the gloss and slickness, that's largely how you choose to maintain the vehicle. So kudos to you for doing the maintenance. It sounds like whatever you're doing is working right. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. One thing I would recommend is just a general rule of thumb. The way that I kind of would recommend this is if the coating is starting to become diminished enough that you're noticing a significant reduction in properties, so you're having to clean it more often, you have to use more chemicals more often to get the same result, it's no longer repelling, as it used to, at least, not even 50% is good. So if the coating is diminished and it's noticeably diminished, that's a good sign that it's time to at least top it with something like EXO or reinstall that initial layer. Let's say you installed Crystal Serum Light. That would be a really good time to kind of think about doing so. But to be honest with you, if you're incredible at maintenance, you don't need to go in and recoat just because. We have a lot of customers that come in and they're super into maintenance and they're washing their car once a week or once every 2 weeks and they're religiously using a booster spray. And they've done that for years and years. And they've honestly not even used the full, bandwidth of the underlying coating that's been installed. You don't have to go in and reinstall that just because you're at 5 years and it's a 5 year coating. I think a lot of it is variable depending on how you're doing your maintenance. So I can't answer that question for you. I would leave it to a personal answer of if you're noticing that it's less repellent and you're slightly less happy with it, then I would go in and recoat. And at the bare minimum, go in, clay the vehicle, be careful with the clay. You don't want to mar it, hit it with some panel wipe, top it with something like EXO or whatnot, or you can even boost something with GT1. GT1 can be used on other coatings if they're starting to kind of lose repellency. And then keep doing what you're doing with maintenance. And if you do find some defects unsightly, you can throw in a quick single step polish, but it's not a requirement. So,
No, great advice. And Fun Fam here saying, big thank you for the response. W9 is on their list now. So that's a win. And then Dan here also pointing out he considers W9 to be a hammer. He's pulled out some pretty gnarly deposits with it. So, yeah, I know that Dan's pretty serious about that stuff. So it definitely makes sense. He's probably had to deal with some nasty stuff up in Alaska. Then I've got a question here that I like the look of, wondering what's the shelf life of GT1? So it sits on a shelf. Say you cracked it open, you used a bit of it, but you resealed it to the best of your ability. You didn't do anything special, though. It's maybe just sitting on the shelf in your garage. Well, would that perform any better, or should you leave it in a fridge? I always see people talk about that with coatings. What's your advice for somebody to get the most out of their already opened bottle of GT1?
yeah, so we are going to say the marketed shelf life of this is 3 months because in worst case scenario, if you're not doing everything right, it is going to be around 3 months. If you do everything right, and bonus points if you can store it in a refrigerator, because number one, eliminating light and higher temperatures, which are two catalysts for the coating to kind of cure into. You can get up to 6 to 8 months out of that open bottle. We've seen up to almost 12 months with some of the sample formulations that we've got when we were still testing the product. I've got some in the fridge here. So the cool thing with this coating is it's super stable, and that's why it's easier to install as well. But because of the grafting system that we chose with the manufacturing of GT1, it's going to be more shelf stable. We're still saying 3 months like the rest of our coatings, but you're probably going to double the life of an open bottle compared to our higher solids coatings like CSL or EXO. And the best way to do that is refrigerate it.
Okay, so the refrigerator trick is indeed the better way to go.
Yep. And by the way, we skipped coating the roof. Just want to announce that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So
it looks
you'll
like the
see- you'll see a
behavior is a
drastic
little
difference there.
different up there. It's because there's nothing on it.
See a drastic difference. The funniest part is Gabe was helping me polish this thing, and I was really just having more fun with trying all the tools out in there than actually
yeah.
getting an effective result. And I did the driver's side. We went to lunch, came back from lunch, and I noticed Gabe was fixing all my polishing on my side that I did. So
Oh, man. Let's see. Ooh, speaking of the roof, I got a question here from FunFam regarding best UV protection for my carbon fiber roof. Now, I don't know what vehicle FunFam is rocking that's got a carbon fiber roof, but that sounds pretty cool. Probably a BMW or something to that effect.
it does sound pretty cool. I think the answer for best UV protection, I'm going to go with something like Crystal Serum Light, and that's
Okay.
going to be compatible with your carbon fiber roof. Really, no matter the finish. If you have a matte one, I would probably stick with something like EXO or GT1, just because I don't want to alter the finish too much, and I want to make it easy. But CSL is going to be higher silica, so it's going to be better solids for UV resistance.
Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, carbon
He's hiding
fiber, as
behind
we
it.
all know,
Wow.
as we all know, when it comes to clear coat on carbon fiber, you get that yellowing that happens pretty typically. So any UV protection is going to be really important for those who haven't experienced that before and are maybe just getting into carbon fiber, surfaces on their vehicle. Just a heads up. Look out for that. Let's see. I've got a shout out from MD here. Thanks for the Gtechniq grab and go kits I bought yesterday. Looking forward to receiving them. Can you explain a little bit about the grab and go kits?
Yeah. So we wanted to make something that was easy to use. So it's got a lot of our big hits in there. So, G-Wash, the tire dressing, quick detailer. It's really just kind of all encompassing within maintenance. So whatever you've got rocking on your car, if it's a sealant, even if you've got a wax on it, if you have a coating, you're good to use all those products. We've got the 3-car wash towels in there. You got the wash mitt. So it's one of those things that you grab it and bingo, good to go. So
That's it.
yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. I think it's I want one, which I didn't take one out of the batch that we shipped you guys. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and place an order before brand week ends just so I can have it. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
You can use it
Glenn-
on anything, man. I mean, even matte or satin cars, things like that.
Glenn has informed me that she actually has the website pulled up so we can actually show people what this looks like in case they're trying to grab it for themselves. So, yeah, let's go ahead and pull up that grab and go kit that's mentioned there. And, yeah, bam, just like that. I think that's a pretty sweet little value there. So, yeah, something to keep in mind when you're picking up during the Rag Company's Gtechniq Brand Week. We've been doing these brand weeks. This is like kind of our rolling into our second year doing this stuff, and we're really enjoyed doing this and hanging out with our partner brands. But it gives us an opportunity to kind of highlight you guys and remind them why you guys kick butt when it comes to all this coating business. Then I've got, a question from Tug R here. Glenn, if we bring it back to the car wash, I'll go ahead and pull up Tug. Was late, so sorry, it'll never happen again. Any updates on the new citrus foam / rinseless? Carson, what's Tug talking about here? While Anthony coaxes the camera.
Soon. The slow hand gesture, Aaron.
Yeah, let's let Anthony talk here for a minute. See what are you up to, Anthony? What's going on?
Did they turn my mic back on?
Yeah, it's back on.
Oh.
ET phone home. Okay.
I heard they turned it off because I was on some type of tangent and they didn't want that. So, anyways, well, here I am on the hood, spraying a little bit of some quick detailer here. I don't know if anybody's tried the new quick detailer formula from Gtechniq. It's pretty fantastic. It's more of a cleaner rather than gloss enhancer, but what I like about it is that, again, still provides lubrication, not going to affect your coating, not going to clog your coating, right? So when it comes to a drying aid, right, so we find that oftentimes we always want more slickness, we always want more gloss, we always want more everything, right? Well, what people don't talk about is that stuff that does tend to build, right? And so you end up getting streaks and stuff like that with time. Something like the Gtechniq Quick Detailer is kind of a good reset product for use as a drying aid without necessarily adding more of something onto the coating, thus resulting in streaks. And so, anyways, I've just done a quick little kind of spritz here on the hood, and what I'd like to do is showcase the drying power of the M22 Liquidator. This right here is a green 20 by 20 twist loop weave coming in at over 2,000 GSM and 2,200 GSM technically. But what I liked about this is that when we were thinking of the naming scheme, we named it after the M22, the Locust tank, right? Because it's small yet powerful, and I like to think that it won the Second World War for us. I don't even think that we had M22s. I think that was actually technically a United Kingdom type of tank spec. But regardless, we won the war, boys. And so here we are. Let me just showcase how this works. So wet hood, drying towel. This is for all the people who've never seen a premium drying towel before. They're like, what the heck? You're going like that. You're going to set it right there, right? And then you're going to contemplate life. You're going to think about things for a little bit. You're going to think about your investments. Are you maxing out your 401k? Have you thought about other investments as well? Also IRA as well. Because if you hit those limits, right, then you're going to set yourself up for the future. And so, correct. And then you open up a brokerage account. And obviously you want to check on your investments, your home life, and you want to check on your other investments. Correct, Dave Ramsey podcast, if that's what you want to do. Not a shout out to him necessarily, but I mean, basically you just want to be doing the things that you can do to really think about how are you best spending your money. And at the end of the day, you're best spending your money at theragcompany.com, right? Because anything that you buy here is going to protect those investments. Not your 401k necessarily, but it's going to protect your second biggest investment, which most people don't know is actually your vehicle. The second biggest investment you'll ever have in your lifetime is your vehicle, the first being that your home. And so if you can invest in your vehicle by investing in premium detailing products, this protects you in the long run, making sure that your money is best spent and you get the biggest return, as long as you don't buy a BMW, an Audi, or anything of that nature that depreciates worse than pretty much anything, like the Pontiac Aztek, for example, if I want to bring that into play. But basically, invest in your future. Invest in Gtechniq, invest in the Rag Company. Now back to drying. So I'm gonna take this drying towel and I'm gonna go ahead and pull this. Wow. I like to think that that happened because we thought about our future. Wow. But I'm actually gonna do it again, but in a lot faster time. Bam. Bam. Oh, I missed a spot. Okay, sorry, I missed one spot. Go again. Bam. Gosh.
So cinematic.
Make this look easy, right? I feel like a pro. Here we go. Actually, honestly, this is how we dry things here at the Rag Company, right? Honestly, this is what we do. So we start like willy-nilly throwing this thing around, and eventually it does everything.
You just whip it. You whip it.
All right, Dane. Well, I don't know. They didn't cut off my mic, so apparently that tangent was okay. I don't know how that's possible, but you know.
Dan says he watches specifically for Anthony tangents.
Does he? Oh, thank you, Dan. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, buddy. I love you. And I don't know if it's Alaskan cod season, but you let me know when it is. Actually, fun fact, another tangent. Parents going off to Alaska this week to go fishing. I crap you not. They are going up there to go do some fishing and ship back some whatever the heck they're getting up there, halibut or I don't know. But they're going fishing in Alaska, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And then eventually it'll be crabbing season, and they've been doing that. So that's been my parents' like big like thing that they do. But I like to benefit from it because being 50% Portuguese, as you guys know, big fan of seafood. Love it. Considering my family is from the Azores Islands, I like to think that it is only right that a good portion of my diet is actually seafood. I see food, I eat food. But I really do like fish, and some of the best fish I've ever had definitely has been that of Portuguese recipes and whatnot, and even from Alaska itself. So, yeah, back to drying.
So, while Anthony is doing that, I wanted to point out that my suspicions were confirmed with FunFan. In fact, yes, owning a 2012 BMW M3, so that explains the carbon roof situation. That makes sense. All right, back to Anthony.
That does make a lot of sense. That's
insulting.
That's the one that we usually see.
So yeah, we got a bunch of people with Audis and BMWs angry in the comments now. Thanks to you, Anthony. Great job.
I can't help that they made bad decisions. Don't blame me.
And DS says, "Don't let them silence you, Anthony."
Yeah. Now, like, what is it? What am I? I'm watching a freaking Land Cruiser right now. This car is what, 20 years old? Probably has like 300,000 miles on it. Costs more than it did new. Like
Yep.
what? You know what I mean? Like, give me one BMW, give me one Audi right now, top of your head, that can have 300,000 miles on it, give or take, right? Be 20 years old and still cost what it does new, right? I can think of one.
I was going to say, it's more than 20 years old, but a Quattro S4.
Correct. I can think of one, but Dane, let's be real here. That's not, kind of in a different league, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Buy a Toyota. Buy a Honda. Buy...
Ooh, a 2008 RS6 Avant with the V10 twin turbo. That's kind of an oddball, too.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, it's just, anyways. I stand by my point.
We got a lot of love for these Anthony rants, though. They definitely enjoy them. All right. So as far as... Oh, no. David Boyce saying his order is lost in the mix. I think he simply wasn't getting email updates, but he should have his package on its way. Then I've got Ryan Rigdon pointing out very helpfully, soap is still on the roof. Sorry, just got here. So, Ryan, for those who don't know, the top of this Land Cruiser was not coated. Everything else was. But Carson and Anthony, in their work or their hard work coating this Land Cruiser, somehow missed the one part of the vehicle that, let's be honest, most of you wouldn't see if you were standing next to it. But it does see the most sun of any part of the car, so it stands to reason maybe, just maybe, it could use a little UV protection too.
Yeah, that up there, that was supposed to be Gabe's job, right?
Oh, that's why.
And he didn't do it, so that's why I'm blaming him.
The habanero pizza got him.
Yep.
Oof.
I made a deal with Gabe that if I did the quad hob challenge, he does the roof. So.
Oh, well, that didn't happen.
Well,
You should
one of you
stop,
fulfilled
stop,
your...
stop making promises with that man because he's not delivering. You know what I mean?
Oh. Well, one of you did your job. Okay, so we got MD here pointing out, is CSU a more difficult coating to apply than CSL? Is this why CSU is certified only? ?
Yes. So Crystal Serum Ultra and Crystal Serum Light are based on the same chemistry, but CSL is adapted a pretty solid amount. So while they have the same technology in them, the technology concentration and the carrier emulsion is a lot different. And so what you'll notice with something like CSL is we've got time to work with it. If you leave it on 45 seconds versus 30 seconds, it's totally fine. If you use 2 towels instead of 3, if you apply too much, too little, there's a lot of leeway with it. And you're getting a lot of that performance. It's just not going to last the full 9 years like Ultra. When we go with something like Ultra, the grafting system, which is basically the way that this coating selectively bonds with the paint, has to be a lot stronger, and it happens much faster on the paint. Something like Ultra, you're going to have maybe 15 seconds of working time, and we're talking in a temperature and humidity controlled facility. So, and that's a requirement. Any of our accredited shops have to have temperature and humidity control to some extent, because if you don't control your environment, Ultra will control you. I promise you on that. And if we have high spots of something like Crystal Serum Light, we can polish them off, no problem. Same can't be said with Ultra, where typically we're going to have to resort to 2,000 to 3,000 grit sandpaper for high spot removal.
I do have another good question, kind of in the similar vein to this one as well, from Dan. Dan wants to know, does exceptionally soft paint merit something like CS Ultra, or is GT1 better since marring will always happen and it'll be easier to fix? So it's kind of different strokes for different.
This is a great
There's
question.
Strategy there.
Yeah, that's a great question, and this will probably be a slightly loaded answer, but I'll do my best to kind of keep it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, because strong coatings like Crystal Serum Ultra are going to typically increase the abrasion resistance of that paintwork that it's installed to, which is a huge benefit. The problem is with these higher solids coatings like Ultra, we also include much stronger solvent. And solvent's job is to kind of temporarily soften that paint a little bit more during the install so that the coating can absorb deeper in and form that bond that actually structurally kind of harden that clear. So what I'm getting at here is Ultra is the better move for increasing swirl resiliency on that paintwork and making it easier and more preventative. But the install can be difficult and much more difficult than installing Ultra on a high solids European. Now, the cool thing with GT1, sling it on, you're good to go. Yes, it's not going to increase the abrasion resistance quite as much. What's Anthony doing? He's spraying behind the back here.
He's trying not to look while he does it, and his muscle memory isn't quite
so
what
impressive.
it used to be. Oh boy. Just gonna drop that comment off the screen so we can actually see the work he's doing.
Oh crap, I'm wiping the tire. Crap, I thought I was getting all the wheel. My bad, so sorry. I kind of wanted to treat it like I'm at a bar in a movie, right? And like I'm kind of like, eyeing like my girl in the movie, right? my wife in real life, and I'm like seeing her from a distance, and I'm like, I'm playing pool, right? I kind of want to impress her. So like I grab the pool stick, whatever the heck it's called, and I walk over to the white ball, and I hit that 8 ball, and I sink it without even looking at, I was just looking at her, and that's kind of what I was trying to do with cleaning that wheel. And I missed. So,
Except you lose the game because all the other balls were still on the table when you did it.
Yes. That is how
I thought it
works,
was
Dane.
good. It's like James Bond with cargo shorts.
It is.
That's a choice.
Here's the deal. Things as a millennial I'll never be able to let go of. Cargo shorts, I'll die on that hill that they're the best things ever. Honestly, anything with more pockets. Like, it's crazy to me that there's people out there that are like, I'm just going to use 2 pockets.
No.
2 pockets for what? Like, where are you going to put your giant, fat, stacked American Eagle wallet from 2006? And they go, I don't have that. I have a minimalist. I put my cards in my phone case. And I go, well, that's stupid. What if you lose your phone? Yeah, think about that, right? So
Everyday
that
carry, bro.
and no-show socks, baby. You know what I mean? When I'm here detailing and I find that my feet aren't getting hot due to the fact that I'm wearing a no-show sock here. And so I don't know how people do it in high socks. I don't know how people do it in like full thick cotton socks. Like, you guys are disgusting, and that holds a ridiculous amount of bacteria, right? You wonder why your feet smell at the end of the day? It's because you're wearing thick socks. My feet don't smell ever, literally, because they're breathing through a very finite layer of sock. Yes, it's no-show. Call it what you want, but I do get these ones off of Amazon. I actually like it because the heel does have a rubberized little patch thing here that you can see, and they don't slip at all. They're super comfortable, they're super durable, and they're called Whisper Deer on Amazon. So if you type in Whisper Deer, you can get like a 12-pack in black for like $20. Honestly, best money that you're gonna spend. So
Whisper Deer, a name that means quality.
It does. Like, I don't even care. Yeah, I think that these are the best socks I've ever bought. I've actually started buying like extras just in case the company ever goes out of business, but they won't because they have 5 stars. So if you're a fan of no-show socks like me, check out Whisper Deer on Amazon. We don't have any links in the description, but just tell them that your boy Anthony sent you from the Rag Company, and you've never been more comfortable detailing in these socks. So
I'm going to clarify for all the folks at home
FYI,
that this
all
is not a
5-star
sponsored
reviews are from
segment.
Anthony.
All your fashion advice comes from Anthony. So before Anthony went on that tangent, Fun Fam did have a nice comment saying, great host, great guest, and great info. Great washing job minus the roof. Thanks, y'all.
yeah, I should have probably done a better job.
That
looking
rough
up
shot
there.
is looking
honestly
unfortunate.
like the roof needs to be polished. It needs to be coated. Like, it looks crappy to me. So there's dents on the top. I think maybe the reason why they didn't do it is because they were planning on getting it PDR'd. I don't remember the real reason, but trust me when I say the water is sticking to that roof. It is not beading. It is not coming off there because it wasn't coated. So once it gets polished, once it gets redone, I think that'll be just as perfect as the rest of the car. So yeah, pretty nice.
All right. Now, Alkaline Taupe Hat, Dan here, wondering, how does GT1 fare with tunnel brush washes? So not a touchless, but a tunnel wash. 3 washes and done? 10? Question mark. So where does it fall on the physical abrasion charts? Because you can't account for every wash that they're going to go through.
Yeah. This is going to be one of our lower abrasion resistance coatings. And the reason for that is because when you make a lower longevity coating, it's going to bond less. Less bond means less resistance to abrasions, things like that. I don't have any official company claims, so this is me going off on a tangent, but with a personal vehicle that I do take through the tunnel wash, I've seen about 4 to 6 months out of this coating. So I would say a little under half the life if you're going to tunnel wash it, but don't tunnel wash it. Don't tunnel wash your car. It's a bad idea. Yeah.
If you're the kind of person who's looking online for coatings in the first place, chances are you're not a tunnel wash person, actually. You probably have enough of a baseline knowledge about detailing that you're going to avoid the worst of them. And let's just say, okay, tunnel wash, but touchless. maybe not a tunnel wash, but you drive into the thing, it's touchless, it sprays a bunch of harsh chemicals, but it doesn't actually brush the car. Are you seeing any more life because there's less abrasion? The chemical resistance is still pretty
Yes.
good. I would assume touchless, it's going to be able to hold up better.
Yeah, touchless is really a non-issue for it. If you're doing touchless, you're good to go. It's not going to replace a hand wash, but it's still some
Of
solid
course.
stuff. Anthony's got something he wants to say. It just looks
Yeah.
like it.
Let's see what
no,
Anthony
no.
has to say.
I'm just. We're done. We did it. I mean,
Oh.
car's clean. Looks awesome.
He's pumped. He's pumped.
Yeah. I mean, I literally just be like doing busy work of just nothing, to be honest. Like, I mean, the door jams are clean. Everything else is clean. It's just, no need to wipe it down any more than what I need to. But yeah, this car cleaned up super easy, man. I mean, like, it's incredible. I genuinely think I could just rinsed it off and probably dried it and would have been just fine. But yeah, basically, it's awesome coating, easy to apply, easy to wash, easy to maintain. I don't really see any drawbacks to it, right? Because it was intended to be created as a one-year coating. That's the intention. It would be different, right, if the market was that, like, there was only one-year coatings out there, and then the first coating, the next big coating was a 7-year coating or whatever. I mean, that would be game-changing, but, like, we're going in the opposite direction, but probably for good reason. And I think it's a good experience. And so, regardless of what you like to use for maintenance, regardless of, your process, whether it's rinseless or doing a pressure washing job, I mean, the coating, it performs great. So I wouldn't hesitate to buy it if this is something that catches your fancy, you know what I mean? So I'm just done, basically. So I'm just kind of hanging out, and I'll answer any questions if there's anything left at the end here. That's it for me.
So I definitely have a few more questions I can ask, but I have one just to kind of lead off here. What do you do after you've washed the coated vehicle? Like, what's the next steps?
Drive it.
And then when the time comes, how often should you wait before that next wash?
When it's dirty.
Okay, so it's really that simple. Carson, what do you have to say about that?
We recommend at least once to twice a month. Twice a month at least. I think that's the golden rule there. If you're more busy, that's fine. Especially if the car's outside, try to do it twice a month. But yeah, I mean, when it's dirty is a pretty good. That's a pretty good gauge.
All right.
Cool.
So then let me pull up another one from MD here. When using a Gtech, Geon, or any brand ceramic coating, do they perform best when using the brand's maintenance products to maintain it? Generally speaking, I mean, just from experience, they're formulated with their products in mind, and there can be actual real differences from product to product, especially in prep sprays. I can't emphasize that enough when it comes to prep sprays for coatings and things, but I want to hear Carson's more professional take on this, and then Anthony's as well.
Well, spoiler alert, it's the same take as yours, but I'll try to make it sound fancy. Maybe I'll throw in some big words. Actually, I'll leave it up to Anthony to throw in maybe even an anecdotal story. But yeah, no, I think yes, to an extent, right? I mean, a good example of this is with Crystal Serum Ultra or Crystal Serum Light. If it's installed by a certified installer of Gtechniq, it's not required that you use Gtechniq maintenance products to uphold the guarantee. So it's not going to be the detriment to your coating. I think for people that are trying to squeeze out a marginal kind of increase in it, I think it's a good idea. And yes, those products, if you buy a Gtechniq coating, I think a good idea would be to use Gtechniq maintenance products, especially because we have guides and we have a lot of information already built around maintenance of our coatings. So there's less guesswork there. And then if you call in, which you can do to Gtechniq 855 Gtech 01, that would be our main line. And then you can talk to Tammy or me. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of phone calls tomorrow. We'll see. But if you call in and you're like, hey, I use W9 water spot remover on my Crystal Serum Light and I had this, I'm going to tell you, oh, I know exactly what's going on. Let's troubleshoot this. Meanwhile, if you call in and say, hey, I use this stuff from Advanced Auto Parts, this stuff from Disney, and to use it on this coating, I'm going to be like, we got a lot of variables here. I'm not exactly sure what's causing it. So take that with a grain of salt, because I don't think it's the end of the world. But I do think it can help. And I think it helps to kind of keep everything consolidated.
All right, Anthony, you got the last answer on this one. What's your take? What are you adding to this mix?
Nothing. Just have fun. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, like, that's kind of the beauty of it, is that, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's certain products that are tested and developed and with things in mind, like you said. But I mean, at the end of the day, right, it's funny because, Jimmy, for example, right, one of his favorite things to do is he'll get his car, end of the day, pull it into the studio, and I'll see him picking out his kind of, his harem of products, right? He'll go through and he'll pull a product from this brand, this brand, this brand, this brand. And I always look at him and I go, oh, you're going full experience, right? Because he's picking what he likes to use. It's working well with what's on his car. There's no issues with what's on his car. And so I think his car is coated in CSL and XO and it's holding up fantastic. And so basically just use what you like and just know that when you have a coating company like Gtechniq that's been around as long as they have, whose formulas have been around as long as they have and have been, basically tested, tried and true, right? There's not really a whole lot for question when it comes to using them. I mean, if there's going to be issues that arise, we would have all known about them. And if Gtechniq was going to go out of business, it would have already happened by now. And I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they're hanging out. I think they're hanging out with us, ideally.
They're solid, bro.
Right? Did I just wink at the camera?
Yeah, it felt a little personal. And
Twice.
on that note, Carson,
times.
you and I, we're going to wrap this thing up. We're going to say bye to Anthony, though. So, Anthony,
right, boys,
thank you so much.
Thank
for a great
you.
wash.
Thank you so much. Carson, thank you for being here. Can't wait to see you again. Take it easy there in Georgia. And thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, back to you.
All right. Demo says it's nice
Yes, sir.
wash
Thank you.
Wednesday. I agree. Now, Carson, is there anything else you want to plug while we're here, while we're wrapping up? Just let people know, once again, that phone number and any details about GT1 people should know if they're interested in considering it.
Yes, sir. Yep. Again, if you need to call Gtechniq main line, it is 855-GTECH-2401. So that would be 855-483-2401. Toll free, by the way. Toll free. Look at that.
Oh, love
But yeah, as far as products go, I think the biggest hit is going to be what's new for Gtechniq. That's the biggest question that we get. That's the kind of hook. So I saved the hook for the end. But yeah, GT1, we've hit on that, time in, time out. We just designated the whole thing to it. But we do have 2 new products also coming out. One is a rinseless wash, and the other one will be an update to our citrus foam. Both are some sought after updates. The new citrus foam is going to have far improved cleaning power. The new rinseless wash is going to be a multi-in-one product. So there's a couple uses for it, not just clay lubricant or typical rinseless use, but there's some additional kind of fun things we threw in there. And the fragrance is rather nice, might I add.
Okay, well, knowing Anthony
I chose the
being
fragrance, so I'm biased.
scent. Okay, Carson, your record on picking scents, we've been to your office. We know, it's pretty nice. So you know what you're doing over there. Sign me up. I'm interested. But anyway, Carson, thank you so much. And yeah, it's always fun to throw a little teaser there at the end for people to check out coming up here in the future. Once again, thank you for being wonderfully informative. And yeah, till next time, dude.
Thank you.
All right, so that wraps us up here. It has been a fun live, and once again, Anthony and Carson did a great job informing you guys about the touch-up process, seeing how things are going on that coating a month into its life on that Land Cruiser 100 series. Now, anyway, we are wrapping things up here, but this is not the end of Rag Company live streams. Oh no, we've got a big one coming up here in the not too distant future. I want to make sure, if you haven't done it already, you're watching the Rag Company YouTube channel right now. When you have a moment after this stream is over, please head over to the Rag Company channel. That's right, on YouTube. Make sure you click notify me on that upcoming stream that you see. It's just a little ways away. It's Tuesday at 4 p.m. It's going to be kind of a later stream. And yeah, it's going to be on a Tuesday, but it's all about the H2O line. It's the thing you've been waiting for. It is the biggest deal coming out from TRC here, and we've got quite the presentation for you. So I wouldn't want you to miss it, and I'm really trying to tell you now. Tell all your friends, tell anybody you know who cares about detailing. They should know, and they should be there because, yeah, it's going to be a big deal. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you hit like on this. I hope you had a great time. And for any more comments, questions, all that, leave them down below after this becomes a video on YouTube, and we'll follow up with you. Take care, and then we'll see you next Tuesday.